I've had this strange tension in my mind for a long time now, and I've just finally resolved it. It is how the Beatles come up with so many things that are so deep and so they come up with so many ideas that you expect not to come up with till much later in life. But here I am, much later in life. And it's always bothered me slightly because I've always felt like, well, I want to just imagine that maybe they came up with them, maybe they didn't know what they were doing. You know, a sort of cut-ups kind of idea. And they happen to have hit upon a few semi-truths that resonate more as you get older. But I think there's more to it than that. Because I was just thinking today about Sargent Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band, the album. And even just the track, Strawberry Fields. It's not just that nothing is real line, it's the music that carries it. It's so perfect. And the guy that blew his mind out in a car. But it's all wrong. And that line as well, which sounds so glib. It's like, okay, a 19-year-old being clever, but it's not. Because this suddenly sparked me today. This sudden thought just sparked in me today, which was a question. And the question is, have I come any closer to a touching the question of being and reality? Have I come any closer to that sense since I was 19? And I absolutely have not. And if you're honest, you haven't either. You have not. What you've done is you've mulled about it for 20 years, or 30 years in my case. You've mulled it over and tried to express it. So my point is, here were some 19-year-olds who expressed it there and then. Right there. Right then. And yes, there was a naivete to it, of course. But naivete is also honesty. And I think it's worth revisiting the Strawberry Fields of the album and wandering through them as a 50-something-year-old or a 60 or a 70 or an 80-something-year-old and reconnecting with the 19-year-old that you were, that they were, because they did it for you. They preserved that 19-year-old moment of wisdom that never got better. It never got clearer. Don't lie to me. You never had more clarity since you were 19. It's never happened. And they preserved it unmediated by the years of mulling and humming and hawing and conversations and bullshit. They preserved it there. In some aspects were not even considered, as I've already said. But it's all wrong. That sounds like a clever 19-year-old thing. Like, let's just switch it around. Yes, it is that. But it is also an intuitive grasp of the intangible, unanswerable nature of these questions. So I would urge you, however old you are, to give these boys the benefit of the doubt that they're you when you were a boy, and you're not getting any cleverer since you were a boy. And go back and listen to Sargent Pepper's again, and accept with open arms the wisdom of youth, the wisdom from youth. It is the same wisdom that comes as you get older and you throw off all the bullshit that came somewhere between youth and old age. Came a shitload of bullshit, and you've now thrown it off. maybe you're ready to listen again to the Beatles.